everyone, and welcome to another episode of That's Absurd. Please elaborate, a show that you listen to it. Maybe you don't normally listen to it. Maybe this is your first impression and it's already gone off the rails. And if it is, though, stay. I'm going to tell you what we do. This is a show where we take silly, absurd, weird questions from listeners, and then we go and we research them and we try and find plausible or evidence-backed answers, no matter how absurd the question may be. And you're probably seeing why the show is called what it is now. I am one of the two usual hosts. I'm Julian Huguet.
I'm one of the other usual hosts, Trace Dominguez.
We are joined this week by an unusual host, longtime friend and listener of the show. She is a biologist, she's a writer for space.com, and she's the only person who's ever written a song about a robot that made me cry. Chelsea Gohd, welcome to the podcast, Chelsea.
Wow.
So glad to be here. You know, longtime listener, first time caller. Excited to be here to get weird with you guys.
We've been talking about having you on for literally years.
You've been gossiping about me. Okay, that's fine. I mean,
we've
I'm
also
happy
talked
about
to
it.
you directly about like when we could get you on and the hurdles that we had to overcome to get here. So I'm glad that we have finally what does one do with a hurdle? Clear it?
Yeah. I think you clear it,
Yeah,
or you hit it with your groin. Because when I used to do the hurdles, that was my least favorite part.
See, I would just smash my knee into it over over and over. And then it's like, well, I got over the hurdles. I am covered in bruises.
Yeah.
But
it's not against the rule to just like run through it, right? Like it's not the best strategy.
No, it's actually not against the rules. You can just run through it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
Don't. It hurts.
It's a new strategy here.
It sounds like that was the Trace Dominguez track and field approach.
LA Olympics. Let's go.
No, I would do that thing where you take off and then you go to run and I have really long legs. So I went to jump over the hurdle, but I would just kick it and then fall over and hurt myself. And then that would be the end of my race. And I did that enough times that I decided I'm a distance runner now.
Yeah, fair. Yeah.
Well, Chelsea, you know how the show goes. Usually our guest goes after our regular host. So Trace, pressure's on you. You got to set a good example. What is your question this week?
My question this week comes from Paco, who sends, what are the most unobvious ways to get sunburned?
Oh.
Huh.
Okay.
Now, that in its face is not absurd. So Paco goes on, which is why I picked this question. Is it possible to get sunburned from the moon? I study Japanese, and in my studies came across the word yukiyake, which basically translates to being tanned by sunlight reflected from the snow. And I've never known a word like this in English. It might possibly exist, but I don't live in a snowy place where I could have ever heard it. So it got me thinking, how many other ways is there to get sunburned that we don't usually think about? And then thinking of the moon being a reflection of sunlight, I know it is significantly less sunlight than reaches the earth, but are there any amount of UVs in that light? If you accidentally fell asleep under a huge magnifying glass under the moonlight, could the moon give you a sunburn?
Oh no. Yeah. I fell asleep under the moon magnifier again.
The moon out there with a big magnifying glass trying to fry us all like ants.
Yeah.
The moon magnifier does sound like a really evil, maybe like Pinky and the Brain device. Like,
yeah, very cartoon villain, but not out of the question. If you told me that was happening, I'd be like, well, all right, sure. Of course that's happening now.
Yeah, these days, 2026, who knows?
I mean, it's just a telescope. It's just if it's just one big lens, it's a very impractical telescope, I guess.
Yeah. A giant telescope pointed back at us, but it's not meant to observe us. It's cooking us.
Okay, but the moon's moving. So you have like one of those automatic telescopes that's tracking the moon. And then it's pointed at one specific spot on like your chest. So you fall asleep and the eyepiece is like focused there.
And then you put a sticker that's a heart around, so you have a little moon tan line.
Yeah.
Like the Playboy Bunny sticker, the tanning salon.
I hear those are back in vogue. Yeah, the stickers at the tanning salon.
I don't know. Everything is back. It's 2002 again. I don't know.
I've clearly never seen the inside of a tanning salon, so I'm just relying on...
I'm pretty sure I could get sunburnt from the moon. No big telescope required. So I don't know. This seems like I could find any way to get sunburnt answer to me. But I am curious how this configuration would work. But also, what's the difference between sunburnt by the moon and fried to death by the moon? I assume it's a pretty slim line.
Wow. So first we have to talk about the sun. This is sunlight. It's called a spectra. This is what astronomers use when they're looking at stars in the sky. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's probably above you. So this is our...
You insult my intelligence?
It's also below you. I mean, to be clear, but...
The sun is above me, not my ability to understand this. Okay.
I mean, I always thought of the sun as sort of to our left. But whatever. Chelsea, please describe the chart that I have dropped in our chat.
The rainbow we can see, and the different colors happen at different frequencies. So yeah, when sunlight comes, it's at different frequencies.
Yeah.
I mean, it's that straightforward.
Yep.
Right. But
How
what does
can
the
I
chart look
overcomplicate
like?
it? The chart looks kind of like a mountain in a rainbow.
Oh, Rainbow Mountain. That's
Yeah,
nice.
Rainbow
Nice.
Mountain.
Yeah. I see it.
Charlie
It's like
unicorn, you know.
It's kind of like a big lump, right?
Yeah.
Like a big lump on a graph.
Magical.
Yeah. Yeah.
A magic lump.
Sorry, Chelsea activated something deep in my millennial brain.
Sleeper agent.
Saying, right. She winter soldiered me.
Yeah, you are exactly right about the different wavelengths. This is the sunlight spectra as a function of frequency. So on our graph, we see the spectral irradiance, which is essentially the power of the waves, and then we've got the frequency of the sunlight as well. And the point of showing you this is not to put you on the spot as much as it's to say the sun is putting out a little bit of everything. It's like a lot of little things all across the visible light spectrum and beyond into ultraviolet all the way down into like very long reds and so on and so forth. So that's important because when we're talking about getting a sunburn, we're really talking about UVB specifically, which is like less than 200 nanometers. So on this graph, it's like the furthest left side of the graph. Now,
It would be on the right side.
Oh, sorry, the furthest
on the right.
Right.
Not that people can see it.
They
It makes
can't
no
see it. You're
difference
right.
to those listening. It could have been.
It's on the
could have been left,
furthest
and I didn't need to
middle
say
side
anything.
of the graph. It's in the like less than 200 nanometers, around 180 to 200, which this graph doesn't actually show nanometers. So that's not super helpful.
It's frequency, which frequency and wavelength are related. They're
Edge of the slump.
inverse. Yeah.
Right. Edge of the slump. So here is the graph of that same spectra, but in
there we go.
nanometers. So now it is on the left side of the graph.
Now we're in
I
wavelength.
change
Yeah.
that. I just mess that up a little bit. But
Now
that's
we're
okay.
clicking.
You were
So
just
as you
ahead of
can
the game.
see, there's like this big chunk that kind of spikes in the visible spectrum area. And then we also get over here on the left where we're going to get burned. Now, if you notice some bits missing there, though, like the 200 nanometer, that's not there. Oh, that's because it's been filtered out by moonlight. So the interesting thing about our moonlight is it's reflected sunlight. And because it reflects off of the moon is showing us only some of it. And I say showing it is a little bit of personification there. What's really happening is the moon is either absorbing it or reflecting the light. And it doesn't really reflect a lot of UV radiation. Now, before we get into that, though, I think we should back up. And that is to say, we should talk a bit about what a sunburn is so we can understand exactly why you're probably not going to get moonburned. A sunburn is, again, specific UVB radiation. I said 180 to 200. I was wrong there. It's actually 228 to 315. Thank goodness for my notes. And then UV is a super high energy ultraviolet, so above, if you will, purple. And it hits the DNA and RNA in our cells and messes it up, essentially knocking bits off of it and causing transcription errors. And when it replicates, it can cause problems. And those errors can sometimes cause cancers or cause the cell to be like mutated and killed or whatever by the body. And recent research, interestingly, says that it's not DNA damage that we should worry about, but the RNA damage, which is less studied, which I think is actually pretty cool. Yeah.
Surprising.
Yeah.
Okay.
So UV radiation is a radiation burn, different from like a thermal burn. If you burn yourself on a stove, it's the conduction of heat actually destroying the cells in your body. When UV burns you, it's the immune system destroying mutated cells and you're getting this like radiation burn. So it's just a very different thing, even though we call them both burns. So the UV also will damage the elastin in your skin. I don't know if you've ever met somebody who does tan a lot, and they usually look slightly more, shall we say, wizened than somebody who doesn't tan a lot.
Little flopsy-wopsier.
Yeah, maybe they have more wrinkle, maybe they have more lines, and that's because the elastin is being destroyed by the UV, and that elastin is what keeps our skin stretchy and vibrant. So without the elastin, skin sags, it can lose its ability to go back into place after it stretches. It can also bruise more easily, and can take longer to heal. One of the reasons millennials may look younger at older ages is simply an increased use of sunscreen as youths, which is pretty awesome. And in case you're wondering, the sunscreen does block the UVB rays, which is good. I don't know if you've been on the internet in the last month or so, but it turns out sunscreen, some people think causes cancer. It's actually the other way. Is the UV causing the cancer? The sunscreen stopping the cancer from happening.
Those same people do have a product for sale that will,
of course,
totally prevent it, though.
Knee deep in beef tallow.
Yeah.
Man, you would smell
beef tallow.
so delicious. Cover yourself in beef tallow and go to the beach.
Like we have this tested, effective way to prevent cancer. It's really cheap. It's at the drugstore. Nah.
Nope.
Nah.
I don't know. Somebody on my TikTok feed said, nah, bro.
Oh my God.
And I found that very convincing.
It's awesome. I've been to beaches recently where there are like free sunscreen stations. It's a whole new world. It's fantastic.
Whoa. That's amazing.
It's pretty serious out there. It's awesome.
Which is only going to make the conspiracy brains be like, well, if they're giving it for free, it's because they
hate
want us
you
to
and
have
want to
hurt you.
Why would anyone want to do anything good for anyone else?
That's not how I would be, so that must be how nobody else is.
That sounds like the American way these days.
Yeah. Well, I certainly am not going to help anybody. Me? This guy?
They say sunburnt head to toe. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Interestingly, UVB does have a very important function for the human body. Any ideas of what that might be?
Calcium absorption, vitamin D production.
Vitamin D production. How long do you have to be exposed to the sun to get your full vitamin D bar?
Something like 20 minutes a day.
It's
not much.
It depends on how pale you are. It does. No, it does.
It does.
You think I'm joking, but it does, right?
It was just because the big hand wave. It depends.
I say this as the palest person in a trio of very pale people on this call.
It's a pale off. It's a pale off.
It is, yeah.
Thank you.
The competition that's beyond the pale. So, yeah, as the lighter, fairer skin you are, the less time you need to spend in the sun to get enough vitamin D to like help process the calcium that you are absorbing through your diet and stuff.
Right. It's like, that's enough. It's fine.
Yeah,
We're good. Yeah.
Hey, bud, you're good.
Hey.
You had your 5 minutes. Time to go back inside where you belong.
The official documentation is essentially between 5 and 30 minutes of sun absorption. I say this because there are people who also are like, well, I can't put on my sunscreen. I have to go and get my vitamin D for the day. And then they'll lay in the sun for an hour and be like, oh, now I've got my vitamin D. And I'm like, no, you had your vitamin D 5 minutes into your hour. The rest of the time was just full on DNA, RNA damage. That's all.
Also, the amount of time it takes for sunscreen to sink in and start working, unless you're using mineral, you could have just put it on and gone outside. It wouldn't have made a difference.
It's fine.
You know?
It's fine.
I barely see the sun. And I, as far as I know, am not vitamin D deficient. So you can't.
As far as you know. As far as
you know.
I sure feel like my D is fine. So vitamin D is fine. Phrasing.
Inappropriate.
Pause.
Inappropriate.
Pause.
I sure feel like I have enough vitamin D. Is all I'm saying.
Yeah, you've been outside at some period of time.
Well, I have a window. I see what it looks like out there. I don't need to go.
You're close enough. You're close enough.
He just
you
visits.
can see the sun exposure from afar.
I can pull up a picture of the outdoors on Google at any point.
Anytime you want.
You've got the beach picture as your screensaver. I get it. That's close.
all I do.
That's close
Right.
enough. Yeah.
That's fine.
I watched Dune the other night.
That's outside.
They're in the sun a lot.
They're outside a lot.
Surely my TV gave me some UVB exposure from that. Which brings us sort of back to the question.
True. Except for now, I want to talk about being sunburnt by snow. Because I thought that was weird. I'd never thought about it.
Oh no, that's a very serious thing. Being sunburnt by snow.
Oh, yeah.
Every time I've ever gone skiing or gone out into the snow, I lather up the sunscreen and I still end up burnt because depending on how bright it is, what the conditions are, how sunny it is out, it can be like a magnifying glass because you're right there. So it's bouncing off right on the ground.
Yeah.
And I'm burning to a crisp.
My mother instilled a deep fear of like going skiing or snowboarding without goggles on.
Oh,
because from like snow blindness.
The like rim. Oh, the snow blindness.
Yeah.
A little more serious than the tan line.
Yeah, the sun bouncing off the snow can like burn your freaking retina. And I heard stories about my uncle being in a hospital like screaming because he went skiing without goggles on. And I was like, never gonna do that. Thanks, Mom.
The only thing maybe scarier than space blindness, snow blindness. Yeah. More painful. More painful. Yeah.
Space blindness.
Space blindness is very real. A whole other topic, but very real and very terrifying. And surprisingly common, though probably underreported.
Yeah. Whoa. You need that pressure on your eyeball, yo.
They don't like fully understand it yet. And they don't know why it happens to some and not others. And it's not like their eyes are getting burnt out from anything. There's no beam of light. There's no snow reflection. It's just the strange environment in space. Just living in the vacuum of space turns out is a little bit weird.
Didn't an astronaut have to come back early recently? Did I read that somewhere?
Yes.
Yeah, there was a medical emergency and they tried to, of course, they're pretty light on the details for privacy reasons, but they tried to perform, some basic medical procedures on board the ISS because they're all pretty trained and they have a lot of equipment. But they pretty quickly realized, like, no, we got to get this guy home. And I'm like, I do not want to have open heart surgery from my friends who have received some training while orbiting nearly 300 miles above Earth.
That's exactly what I'm imagining.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Hold still, Gary. We 3D printed this pointy stick, and we're going to try and fix your space blindness.
Yeah, though nothing will be as scary as when Luca Parmitano nearly drowned in space. Sorry, I've gone on a complete tangent.
No, we're ADHD,
anomalies.
the podcast. I don't care. Bring it on. Let me hear it.
He went out on a spacewalk and he was like, something's weird. There's like little globs of water floating in my mask. And, they're all talking. Hey, what's going on? Mission control, the other astronauts. And they're like, oh, well, your drink pouch probably slipped or something. And he's like, I drank my drink pouch. There's nothing left. And they later found out that there was an issue where basically the cooling system with the water and the life support was going into his air supply. And by the time he got back into the ISS, there was 1.5 liters of water floating around on his mask.
Oh, my word.
Couldn't see. It was up his nose. He couldn't open his eyes. So he found his way back with a tether. Truly the scariest thing I can imagine happening in space.
Yeah, that one's one of my least favorite space stories. I mean, favorite in terms of the horror, but least favorite in terms of oh my God, imagine drowning in space. Outside.
In space.
Bizarre way to go.
The one thing you really do not consider happening.
Nope.
I mean, at that point, let's say, you get to the afterlife and there's a scoreboard of all the ways people have died. You're going to have the one for a while.
Yeah. It's like, you know what? Yeah. I'll give it to you. That's all you,
first.
Pal.
Even if there's a second at some point.
Guys, we have a brand
that second
new
person will
death.
be like, actually, this is you, man. Congratulations, I guess. I don't know.
Death comes out, shakes your hand. You're the first and only person in all of history.
In
all of history, played by Mark Summers in this.
We fast forwarded thousands of years into the future. Never happened to anybody else. All you, pal. All you.
You're the only one,
buddy.
Somebody's got to be the first. Somebody's got to be the only one.
Okay, let's go back to talking about sunburns.
Yeah.
So you both mentioned skiing. I think that's great. Skiing out west is amazing. It's sunny. It's beautiful on top of mountains. I grew up not out west. I grew up in Michigan, where you don't see the sun from basically December until maybe April. So the first time I was ever on top of Palisades, I took off my ski jacket and I'm like, this is amazing. And I definitely got a huge sunburn. I didn't wear any sunscreen because I don't know.
There's snow on the ground. Why would you?
Well, I mean, we grew up in Michigan, so we knew we could get sunburned from snow because on a sunny day, you're like, I cannot drive. But I never had been out in the snow long enough to get a sunburn without being completely covered in snow gear because it's cold. So being in warm and snowy environment that's sunny was a very interesting thing. So long story short, I realized I'm more of an après-ski person, and I put on sunscreen every time I've gone snowboarding or skiing or whatever since then. Exactly to your point, Chelsea, you can get sunburned from reflections. It's not just like that the moon is special. You can get sunburned from water reflecting. You can get sunburned when you're at high altitudes in general, which is also why it's easier to get sunburned on top of mountains, because there's just less atmosphere between you and the source of the ultraviolet radiation. You can get sunburned while swimming. If you're in a pool, just because you're nice and cool and like having a great time doesn't mean you can't get sunburned through the water, because UV is just part of the light that's coming out of the sun, as we saw in our graph from before. And so it'll reflect, it'll refract, and it'll bend just like any other light. And it also can get amplified. Again, to your point. So sunburn from the moon, not actually possible. We sort of hinted at it earlier that this is the graphic of what sunlight looks like when it's coming back from the moon. Mm-hmm. So the sun reflects onto the moon, or the sun hits the moon, and then the moon reflects about 12% of the light that hits it.
What does it hit your eye like after that?
Oh, my God.
Sunlight hits the moon, and then the moon hits your eye like what? Trace?
Like a moray eel.
Like a moray eel, of course.
Clearly. Yeah. Everybody knows.
That's a moray.
The moon hits your eye like a big pizza pie, because that's a moray eel.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
But
that's how I've heard it every time.
Do not cause sunburns. Yeah.
Moray eels, no sunburns for them. So the albedo of the moon is about 0.12, 12% of the light that's hitting it. However, because of what the moon is made of, it absorbs a lot of this UV radiation. So if we're looking at our graph here, you see it kind of looks like that bumpy, spiky graph from before of the wavelength of light, but some of them have little bites out of it and chunks, and that's where things get absorbed. It's labeled amazingly here, where it's like water is absorbing some of it, carbon dioxide is absorbing some of it. And then over here in the bottom left, there's this little teeny O3. So not only is it not being reflected at a high enough rate, it's also being absorbed by the ozone in our atmosphere here. So there's just less of it, and then a lot of it is still getting absorbed. So moonlight, you basically have to be under moonlight for like hundreds of years. Nonstop.
Or very close to the moon, perhaps?
I mean, I imagine if you were, say, like an astronaut on the moon, the intensity of sunlight's reflection might be a difference. It'd be sort of like skiing, I imagine. Yeah. But also, there's just no atmospheres between you. So anything that is being reflected off the regolith is going to hit you. But I don't know if anybody studied that.
Also, if you're there on the moon, you're in the direct sunlight, right?
Yes.
It's not really the moonlight that I would worry about. It's the sunlight that's hitting the moon.
If you're standing on the surface.
Yeah, because if there's moonlight coming up from underneath you, that means there's sunlight coming down from on top of you, and that is going to be way more intense because there's no atmosphere on the moon to block that out.
Yeah, I actually think that's a misconception that people have. We've talked about this on the podcast before, or touched on it, and actually Chelsea's probably going to be like, oh my God, yeah. Anytime you see somebody going into space without a spacesuit in a film, it's almost always portrayed incorrectly, where like people freeze and get covered in ice and like all of this stuff. It's actually the most likely thing that's going to happen to your skin is not that it's covered in ice, but it just starts getting immediate radiation burns because you have no atmosphere between you and a violent nuclear miasma that is shooting every frequency of light, including all of the bad ones at you.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I wonder what it would feel like, the combination of the vacuum of space and insane direct radiation poisoning. Mm-hmm. I imagine feeling cold or warm would not be on your top list of concerns.
Yeah. And from what I've read, and we've talked about again here before, is you wouldn't really feel anything because there is nothing, right? So you're not really feeling...
You wouldn't have enough time to feel anything.
Yeah. I feel like feeling warm would be the thing that would make the most sense because there's nothing taking the heat away from you, so you're just going to feel warm. But even then, people are also like, you're going to pop! I'm like, skin does not tear very easily. You're not popping.
You're not popping.
You're not a balloon. It's not happening. Anyway, so I found this specific paper that was pretty cool that looked at coffee plants, specifically the like Arabica plant. And they said, look, we want to see how it grows in sunlight versus moonlight, because we know that invertebrates, animals, and other life is affected by the cycle of the sun and the moon. This is the most woo-woo paper sounding when you describe it. You're like, guys, I want to know if...
I was reserving judgment, but yeah.
I want to know if the moon affects my coffee. I want moon coffee. It's going to be great.
This is moonbeam beam.
I'll try the moon juice. I'll try it. I'll
Yeah.
try it, you know?
So,
Gwyneth Paltrow's already selling it.
Yeah, Gwyneth Paltrow. Yeah. This was funded by, I don't know, Guop? I'm not sure. Anyway, so they took the spectra of the sun and the spectra of the moon, which is actually a rarer thing to have. And then they found that sunlight peaks in the blue, green, and red at 480, 542, and 604. And the peak wavelength is 480 nanometers. Moonlight is close, a little less. Its peak wavelength is about 397. It hits peaks in 410, 546, and 678. It's a lot of detail. You don't need all that. Anyway, they sound similar, but 480 versus 397 are completely different parts of the spectrum. And it turns out, based on their study, that the coffee Arabica plant perceives the moonlight as a stressor, and it causes the transcription of major rhythmic redox genes and heat shock proteins. So the plant itself on a night of a full moon is like, what is happening? What is happening? You know, it just gets really upset. Which is really funny to me, also because it's
terrified
coffee.
of werewolves. Like, what's happening?
What
Why is it reacting this way?
That's the only scientific explanation.
Clearly, is the only thing that could be happening.
What werewolf hurt you? Coffee plant.
It's just way less powerful than the sun. It's like 3 million times less UV than the sun, and it makes things stressed out that aren't supposed to be in it, but it won't burn any of them. So then I was like, okay, so you can't get a sunburn even with a giant magnifying glass, because magnifying glasses are typically 2 or 3 times, even if you had hundreds of thousands of times magnification, which is just like you had a huge telescope. It's just a big light bucket collecting as much light as possible, somehow making all of that down into the smallest little area. You're still not really going to get a sunburn from it, which is fascinating. However, I did find one, I think, answer to Paco's question, which, if you recall, Paco's real question was, what are the most unobvious ways to get sunburned? And then started talking about moonlight and all this other stuff. So we spent a lot of time on that. But then I was like, wait a minute. There's a really cool way to get sunburned that people don't talk about. And that is getting sunburned on a cloudy day, which we know we can do, right? Overcast, like clouds don't block UVB radiation. I mean, it can reduce it 70 to 90% less than on a full sunny day.
Sun's still there. Sun didn't go anywhere.
That's right. Sometimes, though, cloudy days can amplify UVB rays and increase damage up to 40%. Isn't that awesome?
So what's the difference between those days and the cloudy days where the clouds are blocking sunlight? What's the different factor for those clouds? Special sunburnt clouds?
They're filled with magnifying glasses.
Okay. All right.
Honestly, that's not entirely wrong.
I mean, yeah, they are little spherical like droplets, right?
Yeah. I assume it's got something to do with precipitation, perhaps?
So on partly cloudy days, you can get what's called the broken cloud effect. 2 things have to happen. One, you have to have low altitude, dense, puffy cumulus clouds, the ones that everyone draws when you draw a cloud, that big puffy white cloud. Those are lower altitude. Then you have high altitude, wispy cirrus clouds, like when the sky looks all streaky in clouds. So when that happens, it's basically like a UV perfect storm. What scientists think is happening, and it's hard to tell because even when these things do happen, you haven't necessarily flown an airplane up there like measuring everything. But essentially what they think is happening is the sunlight is hitting the cirrus clouds, scattering and refracting, and then coming in more or less in a straight line, and then it bounces off the sides of these white cumulus clouds that are filled with all of this moisture, and that enhances it and magnifies it like a giant puffy magnifying glass, to Julian's point. Studies on Mauna Kea in Hawaii found a 30% increase in UVB rays on days with broken cloud effect. Another study found a 25% increase, and that is compared to a clear day, not a cloudy day, a clear day. Isn't that wild?
That's
It's
wild.
a huge difference. So you can just get a sunburn because the weather's like partly cloudy.
Yeah, I gotta hand it to you. That was not obvious at all.
And
I would have
obvious.
never been like, oh, the clouds are just the right pattern and shape and distribution and types to make this worse for me. The palest person on this whole island.
The clouds are conspiring.
The clouds are out to get me.
1,000%. I hate to break it to you, but
I knew it.
It's true. It's true.
Well, Paco, I hope that answers your question. You're not going to get burned by the moon. A moon burn,
Sadly.
not a thing.
I don't know. Sorry, I don't know why that's sadly. It just would be interesting if it were possible.
It would be cool. Like, I really hoped there'd be a way that I could get a moon burn, because I would definitely get a sticker and go get myself a moon burn if I could do it. But
if you're on the surface, if you are in your bikini, they send you on the next Artemis mission. You land, you take off your skivvies.
Get the bikini and the sticker both approved by NASA. Okay,
on the hip, though. That would be hard in a spacesuit, is to get that hip, because that's where it's sexiest.
And then there's all that regolith billowing into your suit, and then you breathe it, and then you don't make it back home. So
smells like sulfur and
smells like sulfur, tastes like fiberglass. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not great. Not
so
great.
itchy. No thanks. Maybe not worth it. Maybe not worth it. Well, let's take a quick break, and we'll come back, and Chelsea can answer another question.
All right, welcome back, everybody. I hope you took the opportunity to apply some sunscreen now that we're all UVB protected. Chelsea, what's your question this week?
All right, I have a question from Nick Charles Curry at USC. And Nick's question is, what animal would make the best musician? And as a biologist and musician, it would be embarrassing if I could not come up with an answer to this. So I had to tackle it.
It's right in your wheelhouse. I love it.
Yeah. I can't mess this up. I can't.
I don't know what a wheelhouse is, but this is inside of it for you.
It's absolutely, yeah. So, I mean, just starting, I guess, we have to define what music is, and I'm not going to get all esoteric and annoying about it. Because I personally go with the definition that is attributed to this French composer, Edgar de Varese. But I feel like a million people have probably said it. Allegedly, he was the first, who's to say, but essentially saying that music is organized sound. That's a definition that flies by me. I feel like it's the only definition that really works across the board, because music gets so weird. We've got atonal music. We've got full-blown nonsense. Like, organized sound is the closest I think we're going to get.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
like
I'm
that.
thinking about some of the works of Yoko Ono, and I'm like, I guess that's organized a bit.
Hey, she's pretty I've heard some less organized music. I'll tell you that.
All right,
I'll
I
tell
just
you
know
that
it's
for free.
the avant-garde style is intentionally like all over the place, but I guess there's still some organization to it. But now I'm wondering if just speaking counts as organized sound.
Julianne's pushing back.
I guess, but then it's not organized with the intention of it being music. So then is the intention part of it?
Okay, sure.
Now we're getting into the really
Now
annoying
it's hard.
details. That's what
Now
that's
it's
what we
hard.
want. That's
Organized in what sense? Okay,
Yeah.
I guess frequencies.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Yeah.
think of John Cage, 4 minutes, 33 seconds, where they just,
It's
John just
organized.
doesn't do
He didn't
anything
make
for
any
4
of the
minutes and 33
sound.
seconds. There's no
Yeah.
sound. That's
the
organized,
organization is the structure of the time of the sound.
I guess.
I guess 433 falls a little outside the definition, but I'll give it to him.
But no, I think it falls in it because you've organized a space. You're just saying, like,
Yeah.
this is the sound that
Just
will
because
happen.
he's not making any sound.
Yeah, he's not making it.
And maybe he
Somebody
is. I don't
else
know. Maybe the piano bench is squeaking. Who's to say?
Right.
He could be making sounds.
He's breathing.
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't get this reference, so I'm out of the loop.
This is cool, man. John Cage is an experimental composer who wrote a piece called 4 minutes and 33 seconds, which is 4 minutes and 33 seconds of no music.
Silence.
It's
Well,
silence.
it's silence from the performer, and then the piece is supposed to be all of the sounds that are happening in that
like in
time.
the whatever,
Very
it's the symphony hall.
Heady.
People coughing and like
all
the
that.
bench
People are always
squeaking,
coughing. People are always coughing. at
people
classical music.
murmuring,
Everyone needs a lozenge, yeah.
Yeah. And an exit door slamming. Sorry. Oh, it looks like he hasn't started yet. Sorry.
Can I scoot past you? I just gotta get out real quick. God, just gotta scoot past you.
Just like clatter sound effects is like things
The
falling.
beautiful musical sounds of that. Yeah.
Honestly, if that happened, it would be the best performance of 433 ever.
Well, that's the thing. Like, if you go to a performance of 433, you have to, I personally feel, take it upon yourself
to make
to
a
really
noise.
be a part of the program.
Yeah.
You know?
What
Yeah.
if you just start humming another musician's song that he's not allowed to use?
Suddenly there's copyright infringement.
Copyrighted
Suddenly
song.
That's great.
the recording is unusable.
He sits down. They go, and he puts his arms down and you just go, ba, 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 ba.
Leave that phone ringer on.
that
Leave
guy outta
it
here.
loud. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Turning my
feel
phone
like-
off silent for the first time in 15 years.
That'd be really good. That'd be really
Okay.
good.
But
All
yeah,
right, so organized
sound. By that measure, there are so many animals that we would consider musicians. But the question is, who's the best musician? So there are so many. So I'm going to kind of go through them until I land at my personal answer to who I think is the best musician in the animal kingdom. Feel free to disagree. So I'm going to start with the most obvious answer that many people might choose. I'm not choosing, but birds. Generally speaking, many might. Many, not me. Look, peace and love to birds, just not my choice for reasons we will get into.
Okay.
On my list of birds, I think one of the most fun bird sounds for certain reasons is the red-tailed hawk, because the red-tailed hawk screech, while it's not that musical, it is in every single movie that has ever been made, attributed to every different bird. If you see an eagle in a movie and you hear it, that's a red-tailed hawk. If you see a grand expanse of the open wilderness in a movie, I guarantee you're going to start hearing a red-tailed hawk real fast.
Kyle, can we get a red-tailed hawk screech inserted here? Thank you.
At the beginning of many WWE wrestler matches, red-tailed hawk. It's everywhere. So it's, I think, beloved by humans animal sound. Another weird bird one is, have you guys ever seen the greater sage grouse?
Yes.
They've got these like throat pouches, and it's a pouch in their esophagus, and they fill it with air and like almost like let it in and out with this air, and it makes this bizarre like watery sound, and it's gross and strange. Yes, exactly.
Yes.
Kind of like that. Kind of like that.
They like push their chest out, and you'd see like the sacs like come out through the plumage.
It's real weird.
Yeah.
It's real weird, but it sounds crazy and very cool. Obviously, there's songbirds. If you choose songbirds to answer this question, that's totally fair. They are literally songbirds. One interesting thing I learned that puts songbirds very high up on this list, other than their name, is that apparently little baby songbirds will like baby babble in their juvenile stages, where they're not singing a specific song, they are not singing to attract a mate, they are not singing for food, they are just like jamming. They're experimenting with sound, they're trying things out, they're just singing to themselves alone for fun.
They're the Yoko Onos of birds.
They might be. They are the only ones that I found in my research that really just sing to themselves for fun. But just the baby songbirds, they kind of grow out of it once they learn the songs that are going to get them what they want. But it is interesting how certain animals are kind of just born with these songs, and some learn them over time. And yeah, songbird babies just singing to themselves, having fun, jamming, vibing.
You know, it's funny because I think even with the organized sound definition, we wouldn't call speaking music, right?
We wouldn't, unless you're
normal-
a spoken word artist, but that's a separate conversation. Let's just say.
So it's, if we count songbirds though, it is kind of like saying that a guy just being like, "Hey, pretty lady!"
Yeah, exactly.
is like beautiful music, you know?
It's like
it's just
like
a guy
they are
shouting.
singing, but yeah, they're solo artists. They're just kind of shouting out into the universe for a specific purpose. It's music, I think, to an extent, but again, not top of my list. There's also, of course, the Mockingbird, the cover band of the bird world. And mockingbirds, I mean, it's weird because they do have their own calls, but they have this insane ability to just learn other songs much faster than I could, much better than I could. So I find that very fascinating.
I do have a red-tailed hawk here that we can play. That's it.
Yeah.
Julian, why are you
Julian's
saluting?
All right.
Are you feeling the bald eagle in your soul? Are you feeling,
It's
even
true.
though it's not an eagle, that's the thing. It's like because whenever you see an eagle on screen, they use the red-tailed hawk sound. I mean, to be
They
fair,
really do.
it's an iconic bird sound. It's very powerful. elicits saluting.
My wife works with red-tailed hawks and bald eagles, and she's like, she works at a little like wildlife rescue place nearby.
Nice.
She's like, the eagle sound is kind of a letdown once you actually hear the bald eagle
When
noise.
you compare it to
You're like, no, that's it. You see why it was dubbed over, why they had to pull Singing in the Rain, where they had to get an actress with like a better voice behind
oh my God.
scene.
Or It's Raining Men, they did that. Messed up.
Do you want to hear the bald eagle sound? Because I downloaded it just
if
now.
you've got it, pull it up.
Here it is.
Just a bird.
Yeah.
It's smaller than I would have expected.
Doesn't it sound small? Yeah.
It sounds like
Sounds
like
squeaky.
yeah.
It doesn't strike fear into the hearts of your enemies.
I mean,
the
the
way a
red-tailed hawks,
hawk.
they're not that big. They're not like that menacing in stature, but good for them. Good for them.
Good for them.
Moving on from birds, I think there are some other obvious answers that I'm also not choosing. The other top contender to me is whales, the humpback whale.
So singy.
They're so singy. And on this entire list, they are the only animal that humans are paying money to listen to their songs. They are professional musicians, not that they're getting compensated, but CDs of whale songs are very popular. They're very popular.
It's like Motown in the 50s, where like
A
the record
1000%.
exec is making all the money and the artist is
just
getting
raking
squat.
it in. These marine biologists and their underwater microphones,
They signed the whales to a very unfair contract, and then
Yeah.
Is that why they had to go back to the future to get them so they could bring them back?
Yes,
That was their agent showing up and being like, you owe them so much money. This is a reference to Star Trek 4, in case somebody didn't know that.
for somebody's bingo card. Yeah. There you go.
Yeah. Oh, we've got some whale songs.
This is underwater recording of humpback whales and their calves by Alan Mickey. That sounds kind of like a horror movie.
Yeah. It's not as organized as you might expect music to be. There's no backbeat. There's no harmony.
There's no bass line.
But it's beautiful. It's a horror movie that I personally
backbeat.
enjoy. But yeah, so I think humpback whales, all credit is due to their unpaid labor, but I'm not going with them. Personally, not my choice. There's a handful of others. Husky dogs. There's a specific breed called like the singing dog. There are a number of dogs that kind of sing. They communicate with humans in their singing in an odd way that we don't really understand, but they do love to vocalize. But again, it's like they're kind of talking, like how you were saying, like they're sing talking, they're communicating, but they're not songs. There's the coqui frogs in Puerto Rico, tons of other frogs. Spring peepers. It's spring peeper season. If you go out at night and you're like, what is that? Spring peepers.
Yeah. It's probably spring peepers. Yeah.
It's probably spring. When in doubt, it's spring peepers.
It's probably spring. Yeah, it's probably.
And the other one that I didn't choose on my list before I get to my personal answer that I was completely surprised by because this was new information to me is apparently mice, and they think other rodents as well, sing these structured love songs. Males sing them to females at frequencies above human hearing. So it's not the squeaks that we hear from mice. It's these like ultrasonic frequencies that mice put out, and they seem to be these kind of structured songs, and the female mice respond more strongly to the more complex songs that they're putting more effort into.
This is a Disney movie.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Alvin and the Chipmunks who move over.
Yeah, right?
I was going to be like, rescuers down, no, getting down. That's what
Getting down.
Yeah. Boogie down, under. Yeah.
I was thinking more like a love song only you can hear or something. Like that's kind of more romantic. But yeah, sure. Like getting
Whatever,
down under.
Julian. Disney doesn't do those kind of movies anymore.
Come on.
It's true. Yeah, we're past that.
Ratatouille, but Lady and the Tramp style, but they're singing.
Oh, Ratatouille 2.
Ratatouille 2, Electric
There's
Boogaloo.
Electric Boogaloo.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
Of
right
course.
there.
It's sitting right there. But yeah, so I had no idea. And they sing at different frequencies, different syllables, more complex and less complex rhythms. So I almost went with mice for my answer because I was so blown away reading about this.
It's a song only your mate and predators that want to eat you can hear, presumably.
Yes. Only your mate and all of her gal pals who will then discuss with one another whether or not it's good enough or complex enough.
That group chat going to blow up.
The female mice will sing in this ultrasonic pitch to one another, but not in these long structured songs. So it seems like they're being sung to romantically. And then the female mice will kind of convene with one another, discuss, plan, plot, which I love. All above the frequencies that we can hear. So this is all beyond us. They could be in our walls right now, singing love songs to each other.
Yeah, or about how there are no cats in America.
Wow.
There are no cats in America, right?
I must know this. Is this Oliver?
Fievel
No.
Mouskowitz.
Oh,
Fievel.
yeah.
Yeah. Then
right.
Fievel he shows up and then he goes west because
Yes.
Fievel is part of the Great Western Expansion, which means that tacitly Fievel is helping exterminate the Western indigenous population. But that's fine, whatever.
Come on, man.
Jeez,
Yeesh.
nobody is good.
Yeesh.
That's all
Listen,
I'm
we
saying.
didn't think about how horrible our nation's history was in the 90s when these movies were made, okay?
True, we weren't thinking about
choosing
that.
to ignore that until very recently.
We were
Yeah.
just looking up at the moon saying, we're both singing about the moon together.
Yes, and getting a sunburn.
And getting a sunburn.
Look, we were educated to a point, and then we continued, you know.
Yeah.
Took it into our own hands.
Just like how, there were in fact cats in America when they got there. There was also, injustices against the indigenous population. We had to learn these things.
And the mouse population.
And the mouse population.
The people
Sure.
and the mice that were very much already here. So I have my answer to this question, and I am curious once I spiel if you have a different best musician in the animal kingdom, but my answer is the gibbon.
Ooh.
So it turns out that male and female gibbons, not all, but most species of gibbons, sing duets. So out of all of the animals that I've read about and know about and all of this, this is the only pairing where they sing with each other in a cooperative, rhythmic way. The notes occur at regularly repeating intervals, which has only ever been really observed in one species of lemur, but they don't do duets. And it's extremely rhythmic. It's in time. It's got a pretty good tonal quality and pitch. And on top of not only singing in duets together, oftentimes gibbons will get kind of excited at the peak of these songs that they are singing with one another, that they will sometimes shake or hit branches or pick up branches and almost like drum percussively, adding to the noise. So to me, that's the closest to like a band that I could find in the animal kingdom. And yeah, they'll do it just to bond socially with one another, not necessarily romantically. Sometimes it's love songs. Sometimes they sing with other gibbons to kind of define their territories. It's like they're in a musical singing about how this is our turf, very like Sharks and Jets. Yeah, gibbons are weird and very cool. But yeah, there have been studies of all different types of them, and the singing between two partners in a duet overlaps well beyond what would be marked as statistically significant. So it's not a coincidence.
Cool.
And fun fact, one of the gibbon species that does this, I found, is called the Skywalker gibbon. And do you want to guess what they're named after?
Star
Star
Trek again.
Yeah, it's Star Trek. It's Star Trek, yeah. Luke Skywalker of Star Trek.
Star Trek,
Yes.
famously.
All right, so we have some gibbons for us to listen to. These are gibbons at the Gibbon Sanctuary in Southern California, as recorded and published by ASCAP. There might be a few different duets happening simultaneously in there.
Yeah, wow. You know what it sounds like? It sounds like the audience in the 90s at a talk show.
Yes.
Or
yes,
like the audience
like,
in every
woo!
Saved by the Bell
Yeah.
episode.
Like someone walks on screen.
Yeah, definitely some
Those were
drama going
actually
on.
all just Gibbon recordings. Fun fact, there were never any studio audiences.
Oh my God.
You turn it, it's just a bunch of gibbons.
Wouldn't it be so funny to like make a thing where you just use
just see
them?
how long it takes people to
You're like,
notice.
what's going on with the
crowd sounds
audience?
a little
And it's just
different. I don't know. Is someone hitting a stick on
This
something?
show was recorded in front of a live gibbon audience.
Oh my God.
Gibbon
Imagine though. Imagine.
Completely disconnected from what's happening on screen.
They cut to the audience.
Kelly Kapowski's like, doing something, and Jesse's all like, I'm so scared. And they're like,
It's just a live trail cam in Thailand.
Anyway.
It's just like a... But they are broadcasting the show, and the gibbons are reacting
Right.
live.
Yeah, they're locked in. They're
that's
very
the show that I'm
invested.
actually pitching right now. It's
Gibbons React on a YouTube channel.
exactly Gibbons react. Exactly.
Gibbons react.
Exactly.
It's a great YouTube. I'd watch that
So
YouTube.
I'm
Gibbons
curious.
React.
You've heard the gibbons. You've heard the red-tailed hawk. You've
Yeah.
heard about the mice that we are unable to hear. Do you agree with my answer of gibbon? Do you have your own thoughts on who's the best musician in the animal kingdom? It's okay if you disagree. You will be wrong. Gibbon is correct, but
Okay, here's the thing. I think you have picked a very strong candidate for the best current musician outside of humans in the
contemporary
animal kingdom.
artist.
Whoa.
I think,
Yeah.
the Grammy
Yeah.
for contemporary
wow.
non-human artists would go to the Gibbons. However, I think we're overlooking potential musicians, right?
Okay.
And we've been focused
Oh,
very
yeah.
much on like those that are voice
Existing.
artists,
Okay.
right? But what about instruments of some kind? I think there are a few candidates. Obvious one, if you've ever gone to any sort of like Chuck E. Cheese type thing where there's a band of animals, who's on the drums? Who's on the drums? Trace?
It's been a while.
Chelsea?
It's been a while
Who-
since I've been to a Chuck E. Cheese.
Who would be the best animal at something where you needed to be hitting multiple things at once? Do you think?
Octopus.
Yeah.
Oh, like
I
a-
think-
like an
and-
octopus?
and we know they're smart, right?
True,
Good,
true.
Good problem solvers. I think you might be able to train an octopus to play the drums. I'm just
But the
throwing
thing
that
is,
out
they'd
there.
have to be out of the water, which they wouldn't like. Because imagine trying to make percussive sounds underwater.
true.
It'd be so slowed down by the water, and
got
But
a point.
if
It
they
would throw off
popped
your
up for a
rhythm.
minute, yeah,
It would be a
pop
slow
out of
tempo.
the water,
Or-
a quick drum solo on a rock, back down.
The arms were above the water, but their foot head and the siphon that they breathe below the water, or little like spacesuit helmet around the octopus.
Okay.
Right? Like a little upside down fishbowl with
I
some
could see
water
that.
in there.
I could see
and then he's
that.
on land. I think that's a good one. Otters, we know they use tools to smash things open.
And they're
right?
always slapping their bellies, percussive.
Yeah. Mhm.
They sure are.
That's true. That's true.
I think we've got some potential candidates here, but based on what I heard, Gibbon, like I would pick them as the lead vocalist in the
Yeah.
band, right?
Well, because they do a little bit of drumming, not the most rhythmic, but they'll get so caught up in the moment. The singing drummers of the animal world, the
Or the
Dave
singer
Grohls.
tambourine, where it's like,
Yeah.
right, you're part of the harmony, and also
Dave
you can tap a
Grohl.
little tambourine while you're at it.
Oh yeah,
Trace, any candidates?
he's disapproving of our tambourine love.
He's definitely. I know Trace in like hardcore search mode, and this is it. He's got an idea.
He's got a video.
I've got a good
of an
idea,
octopus
but
in a helmet
if I
from-
can't illustrate the idea,
it's ancient footage of a Chuck E. Cheese band coming to life at night. Would they
Yep.
count as animals? I guess if the animatronics come to life, then are they just animals? Though I hear they're stopping having the animatronics in Chuck E. Cheese's, which I feel is devastating as someone who loves creepy old robots.
Yeah, as someone who was hoping to perpetuate the trauma that I experienced
Yes.
as a child,
Yes, like are they objectively scary? Of course, but it's part of the charm.
now I'm going to have to find a new novel way to damage my children.
I went to a Chuck E. Cheese once. I was babysitting as a teenager, and the kids swindled me into taking them. It was very frightening. And the band on stage, the robot band, was like playing a song by like one of my favorite bands. They just kind of ripped it off. They had just like stolen it and like had, I guess, programmed it for these robots. It was so bizarre, so strange.
I love how even then you were thinking about like, who's the real rights holder for this music? I
Yeah.
don't think you're
I'm
allowed
like,
to do that.
I don't think
Mr.
Chuck E.
Cheese.
Cheese. I don't think Chuck E. Cheese went through the proper channels to license this
there's
song. I do
no
not.
way.
Mr. Cheese did not do that.
No way anything that restaurant was doing was above board.
Allegedly, if Charles is listening.
I have an idea of who I think is Julian
Okay.
gave me this idea, so I can't take entire credit, but I think it's the Parasaurolophus. Parasaurolophus.
Oh, so we're going
Parasaurolophus.
extinct here.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Parasaurolophus has a big kind of swoopy head skull shape, and they think was hollow and could be used as an
Ooh.
instrument and played for
I love that.
mating and such. Scientists have recreated it based on the fossils and what they think it probably sounds like, and there are lots of clips of it.
Very much like a low brass section. Very cool.
But I have heard it before where they like have one and people just blow into it to make this like kind of conch shell
when
sound.
I go, I hope that's how people use my skull.
Paleontologist in the
After I'm
field.
done.
Let me see what happens if I blow into this skull real quick.
I hope they use my open nose hole as a little flute or something. I don't know.
I'll be like, yeah, I'm pretty sure he was making
Wow.
this sound. He wasn't.
Yeah.
Making that sound.
Or like the, like the foramen magnum where my spine goes into my head, right? I feel like if you blow across that, you could get a good sound out of it.
Yeah, like blowing across the top of like a glass bottle, kind of a
exactly.
kind of a deal. Yeah.
Yeah. I see. If you have a bunch of skulls of different sizes, and you like line them up like a lovely bunch of coconuts.
I mean, if you were just taking a raw human skeleton, you could probably make a lot of music with it, ethics aside.
Yeah, they make xylophone noises based on all of the documentaries.
I'm
I've
sure
watched
people
of
have
Mickey Mouse
done quite
playing,
a bit.
like skeletons, spooky skeletons.
playing the
bones
skulls
at
yeah.
Halloween. Yeah,
True.
Sick. You know what it reminds me of? I forget, like, I actually don't know if there's a specific name for it, but like in orchestras when they play a saw with a violin bow.
I think it's just called
You ever
the
see
saw.
that? They like use it for horror movies a lot. I think they're just playing the saw.
Yeah. I
Sounds
think
like
just
that.
playing the saw.
Pitched down. Super
cool.
cool. Spooky.
So I think Parasaurolophus, but honestly, I think the gibbon sounds pretty amazing, and I think we all can agree that the best musician in the animal kingdom is Sebastian the Crab from The Little Mermaid. But it's hard to compete when you have an entire orchestra of
True. I don't know.
various
I don't know if you
fish,
saw the new live action Little Mermaid, which I loved a lot of things about it, but there was a specific song in it where Sebastian sings with a seagull that's rapping.
Oh, what's the scuttlebutt on that one?
Oh, so you're familiar. Okay, you're familiar.
My ears have been subjected to it.
I would take that as an exception.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry, Lin-Manuel. Everyone has their moments.
Oof.
Everyone has their moments.
Wow. Who knew this was going to end up being a movies podcast?
But just specifically griping about the different animal sounds and songs in movies.
Yes.
The eagles are fake. The seagull song was subpar.
Sebastian,
For
though.
LMM.
Sebastian's still holding it up. Yeah.
We love Seb. Big Seb fan in this house.
Love
Yeah.
Seb.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is Seb's
Good to know.
house.
This is
for
good
sure.
to know. Unofficial podcast mascot?
Sebastian the Crab? Much the same way that
The
Chuck E.
royalty-free
Cheese
version,
cleared that
just like
song
yeah,
with its owners.
Just
We will clear
a
that with-
crab.
with
Just
Disney.
a crab whose
Yeah.
name is of no consideration to the general public.
That's great. Well, I guess that's the end of this episode. Why don't you all listening out there tell us what your favorite animal musician is over on our socials. You can find us on Instagram at That's Absurd Show and other socials. But speaking of socials, Chelsea, where can people find you if they want to learn more about the kind of science that you
So
do?
I'm on social media at chelsea.gohd, G-O-H-D. It's a weird one. Or you can find my articles as they come out online at space.com, sometimes Live Science, but chelseagohd.com, because I'm the only one. I try to put most of my stuff up there. I'm the only one with this name, so I'm easy to find.
You really need a YouTube channel that you film only in standard definition so everybody
That's
can be
what
like,
I was-
Chelsea, go
Oh,
HD. Everyone will know how to
man.
spell your name.
You know, no one has ever said that to me before. Would you believe that?
What? I had the exact
true.
same
It's
thought
true. I
before
wouldn't.
Trace said it. I'm shocked.
Oh my God.
Yes, I literally almost
Really?
made that joke.
If you
brain
see
bug.
me
Oh, I
out
love
there
your
with a
brain.
low-res
That's
channel,
great.
thanks for the idea. I'm not even going standard definition. I'm going low-res.
right.
I'm going potato quality.
Yeah.
Just for the rage bait for fun.
Wow.
Yeah, if you want to see my human music, it's over at foxanne.music.
The Opportunity song is the one that made me cry.
If you want to get melodramatic about a rover.
It's so good. You're like, oh,
So
come
good.
find me, bring me home. Makes me like
They said it
legitimately
all the
tear
way
up.
out there. And also, this isn't just me anthropomorphizing. Everyone anthropomorphizes these things. The engineers who build these rovers, they are like family members. Like that, and then you never get to bring them home. They're just out there all alone.
Yep. I know. That's
coming
why
to
I
an end
teared
at some
up.
point?
Yeah.
It struck a
Oh
chord
my
with
God.
me.
Well, I'm so glad to have made you cry.
I know
I'm
a lot of our
thrilled.
listeners of the podcast are on Spotify, so just hop on over there and listen to a song about a robot that'll make you cry by our guest Chelsea today.
If it makes you cry, let me know. Not that I want
Yes.
that, but I really do.
Yeah.
You should. Feel things. Feel emotions. It's okay.
Yes, come on. Just
Feel.
one emotion. Just
It's
one
okay.
emotion.
Have some whimsy in your life.
We're bringing whimsy back this year. It's back.
I'm bringing
we
whimsy
need
back.
it. We need it.
Bringing Wednesday back.
I'm in.
Yeah.
This is going to
I'm
ruin the tour.
frolicking all
This is
over back. Yeah.
Okay. Well, thanks for listening to this episode with us two as well. One of us two was Trace Dominguez.
The other one of us too was Chelsea Gohd.
That's true. And then I was also here as Julian Huguet, emceeing in my role today. Thank you to man who can harmonize perfectly with Gibbons, Kyle Siss, our producer and editor, and our associate producer, Sabrina Capello.
Our music is thanks to Epidemic Sound, and in this case, several species of animal. Thank you to the listeners who submitted the questions featured in this episode, Paco and Nick. If you want to submit a question, go down into the show notes and look for the form. You can email us at hello@that'sabsurdshow.com, visit our website, that'sabsurdshow.com/ask, or call us on the phone at 302-TAPESHO.
Somebody pointed that out once. We can't stop doing it.
It's too late now. It's way too late.
Also, thank you to our supporters over on Patreon. Our absurd administrators are Adam, Les, Austin, Jonathan, Dan, Sabrina the Brain, Hannah, Apothecarian, Christina, Atomic Straw, Brian, Shane, and Metric Ton of Batcat. Thanks to all our Patreon supporters who keep this show basically running and let us do fun things. And also, they went over to a website and they logged into it and they were like, I want to give these two idiots money, and we've never lost sight of that. That's kind of a crazy thing that you did. If you would like to join them, you can go to patreon.com/that'sabsurdshow.
If you are on the Patreon and you don't play bingo, you can play the bingo. Also, you can vote on questions that we do here on the show and all sorts of other little fun perks when we can get them to you. So if you do join the Patreon, thank you. Leave us a review wherever you're listening right now. If you haven't done that, this is a really good way to tell people this podcast is worth your time and their time. If you take just a second out of your day and say, this podcast good, that's better than nothing. Like, it's great. We're not picky. It doesn't have to be pros. Listen to the Gibbons. Think of the Gibbons. They're doing all this for fun. Nobody's
The
out
Gibbons
here,
are not getting paid for
just
their music.
leave us a
The
review.
Yes,
Gibbons,
even
the
if
whales
Gibbon
are
is
not
an
getting paid
unpaid
for their
actor.
music.
Yeah, they're definitely not. Yeah, that Gibbon is just out there having a great time. If you want to leave a review as a Gibbon and just go, woo, 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 that's fine. Do it. We're into it. And if you want to see clips from the show, again, we're over on Instagram at That's Absurd Show. You can also find us on YouTube, and you can find us on the TikTok. We are out there thanks to Sabrina and her amazing burns on us as idiots. It's great.
Special thanks to those listening over on Nebula. Nebula listeners get access to ad-free versions of episodes, and they support us and other wonderful independent creators. I feel like I'm finding new ones all the time. I'm over like on my non-Nebula platforms and watch. I'm like, oh, well, this thing got served up to me by the algorithm, and I watch it and I love the content. And then at the end, they're like, hey, I'm also over on Nebula. And I'm like, oh, I have to go find them on Nebula too. There's so many good ones. So go to go.nebula.tv/That's Absurd Show if you'd like to find out and support a bunch of creators like us, and also I think sometimes much better than us. I think they're great. So check that out.
So I like that you really hedged it.
They put a lot more effort in. I'll say that. We're the low effort kind of just happy to be here cousins of a lot of creators on Nebula.
All right. Well, that's it. You've reached the end of another episode of That's Absurd. Please elaborate. And this is when we say our motto of the show, which Chelsea, of course, knows.
Because she always listens. She knows what we say. Chelsea, we say it at
She
the end
listens
of
to every
I don't like
episode,
being
so
put
she
on the
definitely knows.
spot.
We say it at the end of every episode.
I've never listened to the end. I'm so sorry.
Anybody who has listened to the end of the episode every time is laughing their pants off right now. I'm not going to say what the gag is because I feel like that would ruin it.
Trace, red-tailed hawk sound. That's the Gibbons. That's not the red. Can you imagine? We use the eagle,
He can't get
the
enough.
red-tailed
He
hawk for
can't
the
get enough.
eagle, and the Gibbons for the red-tailed hawk. Everybody's standing in for everybody. Everybody's dubbed.
Replace everything with Gibbons. You guys should have a studio audience for this show,
It's
and it should
Gibbons.
just be the Gibbons.
You tricked me.
The Rickroll of the Gibbon world.
You did. You Gibbon rolled me.
Oh, my God.